You don't feel empty because life is meaningless. You feel empty because you keep running from the weight of becoming who you know you should be. Avoidance feels like relief in the moment, a temporary silence inside your chest. But silence is not peace. Over time, avoidance hollows you from the inside, not through dramatic collapse, but through slow, emotional erosion. Every responsibility you ignore doesn't disappear. It waits quietly in the background of your nervous system. Unfinished decisions, unspoken truths, unchosen paths. And the longer they wait, the heavier your silence becomes. Because deep down, you already know. You feel it when you wake up tired without understanding why. You feel it when small tasks start to feel overwhelming. You feel it when rest doesn't restore your energy anymore. The emptiness you feel is not the absence of pleasure. It is the absence of self-respect that comes from abandoning your own potential. Modern culture tells you, do what feels good. Protect your peace. Don't pressure yourself. And while these ideas sound compassionate, they often remove the very friction that builds identity. Because growth requires resistance. Psychology calls it avoidance behavior. The brain learns to escape discomfort and begins to confuse comfort with safety. But comfort is not always healing. Sometimes comfort is slow decay. You scroll instead of acting. You distract instead of deciding. You delay instead of becoming. And each small escape rewires your brain to avoid responsibility automatically. Avoidance trains helplessness. Responsibility trains strength. And over time, your emotional world becomes smaller. Less risk, less growth, less meaning. And when meaning disappears, emptiness arrives quietly. Not because life has no value, but because you stopped participating in your own evolution. Neuroscience shows something powerful. Responsibility activates meaning circuits in the brain. Avoidance shuts them down. When you stop choosing, you stop feeling alive. The brain is designed to reward voluntary effort, not passive consumption. Existential psychology teaches that meaning emerges when individuals carry weight willingly, not because suffering is noble, but because responsibility creates coherence between action and identity. The Bible echoes this truth. Whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for truth will find it. Matthew 16:25. You don't lose your life overnight. You lose it gradually through repeated avoidance. Every time you refuse growth, your potential remains unused. And unused potential does not disappear. It transforms into quiet suffering, a subtle form of grief for the person you could become. And the deeper the gap between who you are and who you know you should be, the heavier the emptiness feels. Here is the truth most people avoid. Your emptiness is not accidental. It is constructed through daily negotiations with discomfort. Small escapes, small delays, small betrayals against your own awareness. Every ignored decision weakens your inner authority. Every postponed action erodes your confidence. And eventually, you stop trusting your own voice. The Bible warns, "To him who knows the good he ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin." James 4:17, and also, each person should carry their own load. Galatians 6:5. Not punishment, but disconnection. Avoidance creates internal division. One part of you knows the truth, another part keeps running from it. The tension drains energy faster than physical work. Because unfinished responsibility keeps the nervous system activated. Unresolved conversations become background stress. Ignored goals become quiet shame. And slowly, you begin to avoid yourself. Not just tasks, not just decisions, but your own potential. And that is where emptiness deepens. Energy returns when responsibility returns. Not through motivation, through movement. Start small. One honest decision you've been avoiding. Completion builds trust between you and yourself. Structure reduces chaos, and chaos is one of the biggest sources of emotional exhaustion. The Bible teaches, whoever is faithful in little will also be faithful in much. Luke 16:10. And also, commit your work to the Lord, and your plans will be established. Proverbs 16:3. Daily responsibility restores internal coherence. Small actions rebuild identity. Consistency restores stability, and stability creates emotional energy. You don't need dramatic change. You need honest repetition. And over time, your nervous system begins to trust your actions again. You are not empty. You are underused. Responsibility is not a burden. It is the bridge back to meaning. Meaning grows when actions match awareness. One decision at a time, one action at a time, one aligned step at a time. The Bible reminds, let us not grow weary of doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest. Galatians 6:9. Be doers of the word and not hearers only. James 1:22. Action transforms belief into lived identity. And slowly, life stops feeling hollow. Not because problems disappear, but because you stop abandoning yourself. And when you stop abandoning yourself, emptiness loses its power. Because you finally begin to carry your own story, to carry your own responsibility, to walk your own path, and meaning returns quietly but permanently.